As a public defender, Judge Karen fought for her clients' rights. She was elected to the bench because she believes in doing the right thing.
I'm very passionate about helping people, period. Y'all two grown people need to get your own house.
Right.
You had 7 years to have told him that. When we fight, who's gonna win?
You are.
I don't answer questions, I ask them.
Yes, ma'am.
Raise your right hand.
Objective, independent justice.
I'm ready to rule. If you keep walking, you can overcome whatever circumstances you're facing.
This is Supreme Justice with Judge Karen. Novelist Lillian Clark is suing Eleanor Johnson in the amount of $1,675. Ms. Clark claims she rented a guest house on Ms. Johnson's farm and says she couldn't focus on her writing because of the noisy defendant.
Okay, Ms. Clark, you're suing Ms. Johnson for $1,675 under a theory of nuisance. Is that right?
Yes.
And
Your
she's your
Honor.
neighbor?
No, she was my ex-landlord.
Oh, she was your ex-landlord. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you two live in the same place, though?
She lived in the main house, and I lived in sort of like a guest house
A guest
in the
house
back.
in the back? Okay. Where is this? Is it in the city, the country? Where are we?
We're in Never Never Land, in the middle of we're in a very vacant area. It's all farmland.
Oh, you live in farmland?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So how'd you end up moving out there?
I went out to Iowa because I'm a writer.
Okay.
And I've been living in Chicago previously.
Okay.
So I wanted to go out to the farmland and where it was peaceful and quiet and write my next novel there.
Okay. Did you write your first novel there?
No, I've written many novels. Your
Oh,
Honor.
okay. So what made you choose her place?
I was driving around. I knew I wanted to be in the farm region of Iowa,
Okay.
which is most of Iowa.
Right.
And I was driving around the area and I saw a sign outside and I saw that she had a really beautiful expanse of farmland with
Right.
corn and soybeans growing.
Okay.
And I thought it'd be a great place for me and my dog to go so I could write the next novel.
Okay,
And,
so you saw what, a for rent sign at her place?
yeah, like a little for rent on the outside, and then I saw the pretty
Okay,
little
how much
house in
were
the
you
back.
renting this place for?
$1,150.
$1,150, and how big a place is it?
It's about 400 square feet.
Oh, it's a little tiny place.
Yeah.
That kind of money out in Iowa?
Well,
for
it's,
400 square feet
it's
in
a remote
farmland?
area, and she wanted, she
You
agreed
thought that
to
was
the
a good
terms.
price?
Well, compared to Chicago prices, yes, Your Honor.
Right, okay, all right. So, and you knew she had a dog.
Yes.
So we
I love
move in,
animals.
no problems. Then what happened?
Well, almost immediately after moving in, I found out it wouldn't be very peaceful.
Because?
Your Honor, she does this thing called husband calling, and it's very loud and
Right.
very disturbing.
You have a husband?
I do.
How long have you had your husband?
Oh, we've been married for 26 years.
26 years. Y'all have any children?
No, we don't.
No dogs, cats?
No, we just have our farm and
You
ourselves.
just what, you have any animals on the farm?
No, we really don't.
No
we
animals.
just have a field.
Okay, so does your
he
husband,
works
is he
the
a
field.
farmer working the field?
Correct.
Okay, y'all have tractors and all of this?
We have one tractor out
One
where
tractor.
he is.
And what is it that you're farming out there?
We're farming potatoes.
You're growing potatoes in Iowa?
Well, they do have potatoes in Iowa.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
So that's what y'all growing,
Yes.
potatoes in Iowa?
We also raise corn.
Okay, what do you do on this farm? You?
I am the housewife.
Right,
and
but
I
what
take
do you
care
do?
I take care of the house.
Right.
And currently I'm warming myself up for the husband competition at the Iowa State Farm.
Oh,
it's
the
a call.
husband.
It's a husband calling competition.
A husband calling.
And that's right now is my main objective.
So is this practice of husband calling, is it popular in Iowa?
Very popular.
It is?
Especially at the Iowa State.
Oh, really?
Because it's really fun.
Right. So where does it come from, this husband calling?
It's a practice that's been in Iowa for
farms.
many, many years.
I guess because
So
you
that
got your husband out in the field on a
Exactly,
farm
you
and
have
you
to
need
get
to
his
call
attention.
him.
Exactly.
But this was before they had cell phones and everything,
Well,
right?
yeah, but we're out in the boondocks.
Right, so
we
you
don't have
cell
anybody
phone
around
service.
us.
So the only way to get your husband is to call your husband.
Correct?
Okay, you didn't know about this? Did you do any research?
No, Your Honor.
You didn't know that they call husbands in Iowa?
I did not know this. I mean, did you know?
No, but I could imagine. I could imagine it because you're right. How do you get your husband's attention if he's on a tractor out in the field somewhere? And how big is this place, your farm?
Well, it's pretty substantive.
How many acres we got?
We've got about 12 acres.
12 acres. Well, that's not that big.
Well,
okay,
I mean,
but it's
but-
big enough, right?
yeah.
Big enough that you need to call your husband.
Exactly.
Okay, so then when did you first find out about the husband calling?
Right away, Your Honor. Right when I moved in, I noticed throughout the day.
Oh, throughout the day, not just once?
Oh, no.
Okay.
No, it's constant throughout the day.
Right.
and
How many times a day do you call your husband?
When I need him.
Like, well, on average, though?
Well, I mean, breakfast, lunch, dinner.
So 3 times a day?
At least.
About 3 times a day she's calling her husband?
No, Your Honor, it's all day.
Okay, well, you can't call him all day because the man's working a farm. I mean, how many times is she calling him?
Coming up on Supreme Justice.
Herbert! Show me a sign, Herbert! Get in the house, Herbert! Herbert!
You say this is a competition at the fair?
And later,
Well, what happens when you sell Mama's house?
Well, we're going to be
You
splitting
split that
those
in half
profits
too?
as well.
Y'all probably should have waited
Unless
until
he-
after that sale before you brought a lawsuit, because if y'all in here fighting over little yard sale proceeds.
if you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. You're watching Supreme Justice with Judge Karen. Supreme Justice is back with the case of Lillian Clark, who is suing Eleanor Johnson for nuisance.
She's got to get him. He's got to come back to, stop what he's doing, figure out why she's calling.
Your Honor,
They go back to work.
I don't know their business, Your Honor, but
Right.
it was constant.
Like, how many times a day did you hear her calling him?
Oh, I would say at least 10.
10 times a day?
Yeah.
Starting
For-
at what time in the morning?
Oh, 8 a.m.
To when?
to dark.
Until it gets dark.
Actually, earlier than 8
Right.
a.m., probably at sunrise.
Okay, so this became a nuisance.
Yes, Your
Okay.
Honor.
All right, so let me hear this husband calling.
Herbert! Herbert! Listen to me, Herbert! You're gonna miss out for lunch if you don't show your sorry butt in here. Herbert! Show me a sign, Herbert! Get in the house, Herbert! Herbert!
You say this is a competition at the fair?
Oh yeah, it is. It's very fun.
It's a lot of fun?
Yeah.
So what determines who wins this competition?
I actually vote for whoever has the best.
You're exhausted already.
I am.
don't see how you can do that 10 times a day. You want to do it
It's
again?
a lot of fun.
You want to do it again? I just can't imagine you could do this 10 times a day.
Well, that's why I have to practice. That's why I practice all the time.
But you must have been doing this for years.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna win this year.
Okay, well,
That's
I
that's
hope
what I
you
want to
win.
do.
So you find this out almost immediately. How much had you already paid this lady?
I had given her the deposit and my first month's rent.
Right. So why didn't you just move?
Well, I fell in love with the place, and I
Right.
thought I tried to kind of be polite and
Right.
see where that was going, because I
Right.
didn't understand what it was.
Okay.
I thought maybe it was a difference of cultures or something.
Right.
And it just got to be too much because I couldn't concentrate on my writing, and I
Okay.
came out there for quiet. And I have a rescue dog as well.
Right.
And she is disturbed by loud noises.
So did you eventually move out?
I did, yes.
When did you move out?
5 months later, but I did bring up the issue with her
Right.
within a month.
Okay.
Asking her to quiet down.
Right.
Because I enjoy,
But
I enjoy
did she
her.
tell you that she's working on winning the Iowa State Fair?
She explained that when I asked
Did
her
you
to
hear other
quiet
women
down.
yelling around in town? Could you hear that?
No,
Well,
we're
maybe you
kind
have
of
to
out
be
in the
on-
middle of nowhere.
Right, you have to be on
and
somebody
I keep
else's
to
farm.
myself
Right.
to write.
But you must have been doing some research while you were out there. Did you find out that this is a practice out there?
Well, I'm not a journalist. I'm a novelist, so I
You
wasn't
know
really
what? I'm talking about
researching.
research. I tell you one thing, if I was living out there, even if I wasn't a novelist, and she told me this is what the farm wives do, I get on Google.
That's
5 minutes later, when I take my break here, I'm going to look this up.
that.
Okay.
That is
And-
the issue I had, Your Honor.
Right.
Is I think I don't mind Eleanor. She's a lovely woman.
Right.
I don't mind what she does with her day and her
Right.
time and her husband, except for when it disturbs me.
But I don't understand. You stayed there for 5 months.
Well, it takes a lot of energy and time to find a new place.
You didn't take any time. You rode around and saw a sign, and you were in.
Well, I had to move
Are
from
you
Chicago
telling me it took you
first.
5 months to find another place to live?
No, I was giving her time. I wanted
To
to give
do
her some
what?
time to maybe settle down. Maybe
But
after
didn't
the
she
competition,
tell you
it
that
wouldn't
she
be so
told
bad.
me today that she does this all the time? So you were
Right.
giving, did she tell you I do this all the time?
Well, she told me after I asked what it was, but my issue, Your Honor,
No.
is
Did she tell you after the first time or two when you asked her, this is what I do? It is customary here where I live. Did she tell you that?
She explained the contest to me, yes, Your Honor.
Okay, no, it's not about a contest. This is how you call your husband, right?
Yes, all the time.
Because he's a farmer in the field.
Okay.
Okay, even I got that. But yet you continued to stay there for 5 months.
I feel, Your Honor, that she should have told me before I moved in and before I signed a lease. I was telling her that I was coming for peace and quiet. Okay, so then you really aren't suing for a nuisance. You're suing for a breach of contract. All right, so most states have laws in reference to the lease terms, whether it's in the lease, written in the lease, or not. And in the state of Iowa, a covenant of quiet enjoyment is implied in every lease, which means even if it's not written in there, it's implied. In essence, it's a promise that during the term of the tenancy, the tenant shall not be disturbed. There's an implication. And if that wasn't going to be the case, she's right. You had an obligation to tell her that you're not going to have any quiet enjoyment here. Actually, you probably shouldn't even be leasing out your place. Because remember, in your state, it's implied that your tenant is going to not be disturbed. Now, the problem is that you stayed there. You continued to pay rent. I mean, you're asking for $16.75 under some nuisance theory, which isn't going to fly. Did you have any costs associated with needing to move? Yes, Your Honor.
What type of cost did you have?
Yes, I had movers costs.
Okay.
And I have the invoice here if you'd like me to present it to the bailiff.
Let me see that.
Thank you.
You might have been able to sue for emotional distress, but I'm not your lawyer. Okay, so $1,525 because you had to make a move, an unexpected move. I'm ready to rule then for the plaintiff in that amount of money. $1,525. Good luck to you both.
All rise.
Judge Karen has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant has been ordered to pay $1,525.
I just wish I would have known about this before I moved in, but if all is well now, my dog and I have moved out and I can finish my novel in peace.
Well, that was a hoot.
Coming up,
I can't show up for this. I got this problem with this kid, this. I got a problem with that.
Right.
And I'm like, why don't you set a date and let's do it? And I thought she agreed to that. I hear all of a sudden, oh, no, I can't make that either.
So you couldn't get there to help with the sale?
you're watching Supreme Justice with Judge Karen. Mildred Green is suing her brother, Leon Green, in the amount of $980. Ms. Green claims the defendant agreed to split the proceeds from their mother's estate sale and says her brother kept all of the cash.
Ms. Green, you're suing your brother for $980, and this represents half of the proceeds of a yard sale?
Approximately half, Your Honor.
Okay, let me ask you, how we got here today?
Well, just to give a little introduction, I'm Leon Green.
Right.
I live in Washington, D.C., but
Okay.
I was born and raised as her in Windsor, North Carolina.
All right.
Well, I'm a little embarrassed about this whole trial because I think that she's a little weird about this case.
Right.
I mean, what this comes down to is I don't owe her anything.
Right, but what's the yard sale about? What stuff was being sold?
Well, this is my mother's property.
Did your mother pass?
No, she's living in a retirement home in Raleigh.
And so what, did the house get sold?
No, we haven't sold the house yet.
Okay.
But we decided to get together and we were going to sell the belongings and then
Inside
split
Mama's
the properties.
house.
And then we'll deal with the house situation
Okay, so
later.
did you get a chance to go in and pick out things you wanted to keep of Mama's?
Yes, I
And
did.
does Mama have her faculties? Did Mama say do this, or y'all made a
She
decision?
just wanted us to split the
She said,
belongings.
sell my stuff and split it between the two of you.
Very simple,
Half.
yes.
Well, what happens when you sell Mama's house?
Well, we're going to be
You
splitting
split
those
that in half
profits
too?
as well. Uh-huh.
Y'all
we
probably
probably
should have waited
Unless
till
he-
after that sale before you brought a lawsuit, because if y'all in here fighting over little yard sale proceeds.
But this is the irresponsible way
Is there
she
any,
is.
is any of this in writing from your mother?
No, it's not. It's not, but we do have text messages
Right.
and emails
Right.
regarding what we're going to do.
But we didn't sell it together because she was irresponsible and not there with me to sell it as we agreed to do.
So you were the one that went there and conducted the sale.
Coming up,
What's going to happen when she gets to the point where she no longer has her faculties, and she's got to rely on you two?
you're watching Supreme Justice with Judge Karen. Supreme Justice is back with the case of Mildred Green, who is suing her brother Leon Green for breach of contract.
I did because she wouldn't show up.
Right.
That's not true, Your Honor.
I mean, we'd set dates.
Right.
And she keeps having some excuse or another. She's always did since she was a kid.
Right.
Irresponsible.
Right.
I can't show up for this. I got this problem with this kid, this. I got a problem with that.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, why don't you set a date and let's do it? And I thought she agreed to that. I hear all of a sudden, oh, no, I can't make that either.
So you couldn't get there to help with the sale?
Well, the first meeting that we had planned to meet each other, my grandson ended up having a soccer game. And I didn't want him to miss the soccer game. And he came up with all of the dates. I tried to accommodate him with the dates.
Right.
But, you know, he was just unreasonable. So that's why.
So who's responsible for Mama mostly? Nobody?
Well, she was actually responsible for herself.
How old
she
is
had
she?
all of her faculties.
How old is she?
Yeah, she's about 85.
Okay.
Yeah, she has all of her faculties. It's just
Mama's only 85.
Yes.
All right. So she's taking care of herself. She doesn't need any help from either one of you.
Yeah.
Well, no, not really. Just our love, care, concern.
Right.
We lost our dad.
Right.
About 2 years ago.
Okay.
And so Mom was there by herself, and she got
I feel
lonely.
sorry for your mama.
Yeah, she got lonely.
I feel sorry for y'all's mama. You
I
know,
kept in contact,
my
yeah.
mama passed about a month ago, actually.
Sorry.
And I didn't get a whole lot of help from brothers and sisters. And when my mama died, I never turned around and said, you owe me this, you owe me that. Y'all here are fighting over your mama stuff. It is your mama stuff.
Judge Karen's verdict when Supreme Justice returns. You're watching Supreme Justice with Judge Karen.
You think what? You should be paid for having done the yard sale?
Well, this is
You
what
should
you
be
wanted.
paid for having done the sale that you were going to benefit from. You got free stuff. This wasn't your stuff. It was Mama's stuff.
But she wanted us both to share it equally.
Okay, so share it equally.
But she
Thank you,
didn't
Your
do
Honor.
anything to help me
Did
to get
Mama
it.
say, if your sister don't help, subtract some money from her? Did Mama say that? Did Mama say that?
See, this is what she always is,
Did
Your Honor.
Mama say that?
No.
Mama said.
I'm sure she knows that that's the type of person she is.
Okay, but Mama said, sell the stuff, split it in half.
Yes, Your Honor.
Well,
And y'all can't even agree on that. I feel sorry for her.
I was doing all the work, Your Honor.
What's
She was
going to
doing
happen
nothing.
when she gets to the point where she no longer has her faculties? And she's got to rely on you two for her well-being. You sitting here in small claims court fighting over a few $100s over her
That's her
stuff.
complaint, not mine.
Her stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is your complaint because you could have just given a half and avoided all of this.
Thank you, Your
I'm
Honor.
ready to rule.
Thank you,
Judging
Your
for
Honor.
the plaintiff in the amount of $980.
All rise.
Judge Karen has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant is ordered to pay $980.
I am so happy that, Your Honor, Judge Karen saw things my way.
You know, she judged what she judged, and, you know, I'm not happy with it, but, you know, I know what the truth is.
This has been a production of Allen Media Group.